Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Shats coming to you with another video ahead of Eurovision 2024. And actually, I wanted to react to a video that I just saw on my feed, um, and it was kind of intriguing to me. And that video is called 8 Ways Eurovision is rigged for Israel. Now I saw this title and I was like thinking, oh wow, this is controversial for sure. This is something that is probably very political. But I wanted to give it a chance because I enjoy drama. I like drama. I don't like talking politics, but I do enjoy a bit of drama. So I thought, yeah, probably it would be a good idea to have a look and see what are the arguments, what are the exact 8 ways the Eurovision is rigged for Israel. So again, I'm not going to talk too much politics, obviously, it depends on the argument. But yeah, as an Israeli living abroad, I thought it would be a good idea kind of to listen and maybe I'll learn something along the way. Now, because I didn't want to get issues with copyright. Obviously, don't want to use the video of said YouTuber, which I believe his name is verilybitchie, verilybitchie, which kind of leads me to think that he's trying to be controversial by the name of the YouTuber. I don't know him. Yeah, so I don't want to use the video itself, so I said, okay, let's just use the transcript because I'm really kind of more curious about the arguments themselves than the actual video. So yeah, so I thought, okay, let's react to the video, or at least the argument, and see if it makes sense. Again, I'm an Israeli, so I can have some perhaps insights to a few of the comments there, even though I don't live in Israel. So I'm just going to read to you the transcript. This is what is basically said in the video. So he starts by saying Eurovision is so important to Israel and their public image across all the world that last year the president got involved to make sure they wouldn't be excluded from the competition. It is true that Israeli love Eurovision. Israeli like being part of everything, basically. We are a fun-loving nation. So yeah, I don't know what it means by saying it's so important to the public image, but definitely Israeli like Eurovision. The president got involved to make sure they wouldn't be excluded. I'm not sure exactly how he got involved. Not sure how he has any say with the EBU. But in any case, the president in Israel is not a political figure per se. He's not part of the government, let's say that. The president in Israel is more like the president in Ireland, or for someone, what you could say even like the Queen of England. So essentially, they have his role is to represent the people. He doesn't have any authority in terms of the government and what they're doing. So yeah, in the sense that the people like Eurovision and the people like probably for the people to be happy, probably wants Israel to be in the Eurovision. But other than that, I'm not sure what he's trying to say here. That's how important Eurovision is for Israel. Yeah, I mean, people like Eurovision all over Europe, sure. They want the world to see the pretty young woman sing about Israel's suffering. I'm not sure that's what we want. Again, it seems a bit biased to say that. Yeah, sometimes we're suffering and sometimes we sing about it like other nations. Again, I can think of Ukraine with 1940. Was that the song that won for Ukraine? I believe so. Um, that was talking about the pain of a nation, but there was no issue with that. Everybody was okay with that, so I guess that's okay for some nations, but not for some others. Um, Palestine has no voice in Eurovision, but Israel does. Why would Palestine have a voice in Eurovision? even if you are very pro-Palestinian and you appreciate everything about them, they are not part of the EBU. Morocco doesn't have part in Eurovision. Okay, Lebanon doesn't have part in Eurovision. Jordan doesn't have part in Eurovision. Why would Palestine have? If they'll be part of the EBU, then they will be part of Eurovision. They want to create an EBU entity, that a broadcaster that will be accepted by the EBU, then they can try to do that. But until then, why should any nation that is not participating in Eurovision have part in Eurovision, or have a voice in Eurovision? The argument doesn't make sense by its nature of it. And this is how they want you to see them. But fear not, for a group of brave and bold contestants last year came together and promised they would stand for peace and for Eurovision, for the Eurovision Song Contest. Signature included Ali Alexander, Bambi Tag, and even the eventual winner, Nemo. So I'm guessing he's making fun of them because they kind of signed a petition but didn't really do anything about it. It still didn't get to the 8 points about Israel that they are rigged for Eurovision, but I'm guessing it will get there at some point. But did they manage it? Did they actually get any message across to the audience? Well, Portugal, Yolanda pointed her nails in kafia patterns, which you can actually almost see if you go frame by frame in HD. So he's making fun of them for kind of virtual signaling, but not actually doing anything. Again, I'm not sure why they should. Again, even if they believe in a certain way and have certain thoughts and beliefs, why should they use the Eurovision as a platform for it? I mean, they have their own platforms. Obviously, the Eurovision have very, very kind of set rules, so I don't understand the argument. It's making fun of them for something that they don't do, but why should they do it? Who said that they should? Like, yeah, they signed a petition, but I mean, that's most people can sign a petition. It doesn't mean they have to go like in the trenches and do stuff, right? So I don't understand the issue. After a performance, she called out to Yolanda, "Peace will prevail." Okay, maybe not the most effective protest, but good effort. Okay, so he's making fun of them. I'm going to skip because it's just making fun of the participants last year for basically virtue signaling, even though that's kind of the most they're probably able to do. I'm trying to see if it gets to the point where we can actually learn about the rigged ways for Israel. Yeah, he's talking about why didn't they show a Palestinian flag in the competition, even though why should you? Again, I don't understand the issue. Oh, there we go. We start now. We're starting by talking about the ways that the competition is rigged for Israel. So number one, last year the reason Israel president got involved was because Israel was submitting a propaganda song about October 7th, explicitly breaking the rules to not politicize or instrumentalize the contest. When other countries had tried to submit political songs, such as Belarus in 2021, they had only one chance to fix it before being rooted out. Israel, on the other hand, not only got multiple chances, they didn't even really change the lyrics much in the end, and it's still clear what the song is about. Not to mention the obvious, it is when the president gets involved that this has become political. But Eurovision didn't care about that. And Israel got special treatment and was allowed to participate. Now, again, so he said a few things in this point, and I'm trying to kind of gather my thoughts about it. So he says that the song last year, Hurricane, which was before named October Rain, was political. Now, I remember the song very well. I don't remember what kind of political statement was made. So, saying that something horrific have happened is not political. At least I hope so. I mean, the fact that people died is not political. It's just a fact. Okay, that literally happened. Political is saying, okay, we will conquer Palestine. Okay, we will change the constitution. We will rise again. We will be a beacon. We will be all the things that could be maybe political. But being genuinely sad about a sad thing that happened, I'm actually don't think it's political. And the fact is, nobody mentioned the actual act. Nobody said anything about it. The only thing is that people are sad. Sad is being sad is kind of an international emotion and like a global emotion. So I'm not exactly sure what it's getting at. There's no word in the songs that are talking anything about political acts. Now, if people understand the context, obviously you should understand the context if you want. If you just jump in on a show and hear a sad song, for you it's a sad song. It doesn't mean anything to you specifically. It can relate to any other sad feelings that you may have. But if you understand the context because you know the history and you know the news and you know what happened, that's good. But that's not a political song. A political song is stating something political, which is not the case in this song. And again, I talked about 1940 as a winner for Ukraine. It was much more political than this one, for sure. And in terms of again, the president getting involved again, he didn't state exactly how he got involved, what he changed exactly. So I'm not sure exactly how he got involved. But again, the president in Israel is not a political figure. Is a representative of the people. He has no power in terms of government, so he's not part of the governmental power. Is kind of an overseer of the relationship between parliament and the judicial system and government. So in that sense, it's not a political figure. So I don't understand exactly what's the point. And again, he didn't mention how exactly did it affect anything. So I don't understand the issue. Number two, Russia was kicked out of the contest in 2022 with the Eurovision organizer, the EBU, explicitly stating that they were given the boot due to the unprecedented crisis in Ukraine, which meant that having Russia in the competition would bring the contest into disrepute. People don't like war criminals in the music competition. That's kind of his statement. But not only was Israel not subject to the same treatment, the Eurovision went out of its way to lie and rewrite history to defend Israel, stating that actually they didn't kick Russia out of because of Ukraine. They kicked them out based off technicality. So actually, the fact that there's nothing they can do about it, Israel. They had no choice but to uplift Israel propaganda song under pressure from the Israeli government. Whoopsie. Again, very kind of biased terminology. So again, the government had no pressure about the EBU. Again, it didn't state in what way the government kind of did any pressure to the EBU. He says that they lied, the EBU, and said that it was a technicality, the reason what they basically moved Russia out of the competition. The technicality that he's mentioning is the fact that Russia is no longer part of the EBU. Okay, so if you want to be part of Eurovision, you need to be a member of the EBU. If you're not a member of the EBU or you're not invited, like Australia, then you cannot be a part of the EBU and Russia of the EBU Eurovision. So Russia moved out of the being a part of the EBU, and that's why they're not participating. Obviously, sentiments against Russia are high, and that's why also it makes sense to everybody. But again, this is the reason. Now, I would also state Russia is an aggressor, and Israel was attacked in the October 7th. People keep forgetting that, but essentially Israeli are fighting to defend their homeland. So I guess that's not important for the person that is stating this issue. But okay, let's continue. Number 3. When Israel hosted Eurovision 2019, they broadcast illegally occupied Palestinian and Syrian territories pretending that they belong to Israel. Occupying this territory is a crime under international law, and Eurovision just allowed them to whitewash that crime to 180 million viewers across the globe. Great job, Eurovision. Again, he's making fun, being very, very obnoxious about it. Actually, those territories are not occupied by international law. I know that people keep using the terminology occupied territories, but in essential, there was no Palestinian state in those areas when they were occupied. They were occupied by Jordan and Egypt, and then was taken by Israel during a series of war that they had against the Jordanian and Egyptian army. So essentially, in terms of international law, these areas are not occupied because there's no occupied entity that was there. So essentially it's a lie. But again, I understand what you're trying to say. It's Palestinian territories and so on and so forth. The Palestinian government signed an agreement with the Israeli government in Camp David, basically stating the status of all those areas. So all those areas that were filmed are under Israeli territory, according to the agreement in the Oslo agreement that was signed with the Palestinian, the PLO government. So that's a lie, basically what he's saying, and saying it's whitewashing. I'm who even knows exactly what are you seeing when you see all those postcards? I mean, that's just ridiculous, really. I don't understand this argument. Let's see if he has a better argument. Number 4. Last year, Just Klein was disqualified in the middle of the contest for apparently making an inappropriate gesture at a camera person when he was being filmed without his consent. So the Netherlands was just gone from Eurovision 2024. Okay, so that's that. However, the Israeli team was apparently constantly harassing people, filming them even without their consent behind the scene, and the Israeli commentators was calling contestants like Hamas supporters and son of Amalek. And yet they were not disqualified. The Norwegian band even had to ask for extra security because the Israeli broadcaster and Bambi Tag said the EBU told them privately that the Israeli commentator did break the rules, but that's okay. Israel still went through to the final. So essentially is kind of locking a few things here. So yeah, Just was disqualified because he attacked a camera person from the Swedish team, a Swedish journalist, and he was removed. Now I know the details of that issue. I don't know if it was fair or not, but that's one part of the argument. And he says that basically Israel did the same thing. The only difference is basically he's talking about a few people from the delegation opening their smartphone with their private Instagram or Facebook and taking photos. Now everybody uses social media these days and take photos, and people don't like it when they are in a public competition. Then that's too bad for them. They can. I agree that they could be probably more civil about it, and if people just don't like being photographed, then that's fine. But to photograph anything, it's your social media, and you're there as part of the delegation. The other delegation do it as well. The Israeli don't cry about it. So I don't understand exactly what's the issue. Maybe it's because that if someone will mistakenly see them in Instagram by Israeli, they would mistakenly feel that they support them, and that's kind of the toxicity that was there last year. In terms of commentators calling some of the contested Hamas supporters and son of Amalek, first of all, some of the contestants were Hamas supporters. They clearly said so. So I don't understand exactly what's the issue. Clearly they were. So that's fine. It's their choice, but they were. Son of Amalek is kind of a funny term to call a person. Basically, the commentators were comedian, the one that he's talking about, and they did what comedians do, which whatever they want to make a joke, and yeah, you can like it, you can dislike it, but that's kind of what's their call in terms of being commentators. I don't go to Graham Norton and tell him how to do his job as a commentator, and if some of his cheeky remarks are too cheeky or on point. So when he makes fun of contestants and how they look and what they're doing, I feel it's the same thing. So that's fine. Yeah, so what's the next one? Number 5. The EBU has previously banned broadcasters who fail to uphold media freedom, such as Belarus. Okay, the EBU says journalists should be impartial and independent, and yet Khan, the Israeli broadcaster, is nothing but a mouthpiece to the Israeli military. Okay, that's a plain bullshit, to be honest. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for using that word. That's just not true. Khan is an independent broadcaster in Israel. They're probably the most left-leaning news outlet in Israel. Have it as how would you like it? They are the most peace loving kind of broadcast in Israel, and then absolutely nothing to do with being a broadcast to a mouthpiece to the Israeli military. Quite the contrary. They are very anti-government, and the reason why some of government people want to remove Khan entirely is because they actually don't get very positive sentiments from the broadcaster. So that's just not true. That's just plainly not true, and I'm sorry. I mean, someone who's not part of it or doesn't understand the language or doesn't really read the comments from the broadcast or see the news that may just biasly think that, but that's completely not true. Number 6, during Israel performance last year, audience booed. Yes, were apparently edited out and replaced by fake cheers. So despite audience explicit disapproval of Israeli participation, literally due to crime against humanity, okay, I'm not going to use the word that he's using because they're kind of vile, I would say. Even the audience who paid to be there, thinking they could protest in person by booing, became complicit in this propaganda and against their will. So let me say this. I think that booing a young artist that has done nothing but coming to a song competition to represent a country is vile. And I think everybody that did it should be ashamed. But again, it's their choice and they're able to do whatever they want, and that's fine. The EBU, I think, respectfully decided that they want to keep the competition um, run smoothly, and by editing out the booze, they would not create a sense of false bias by the people who are in the arena that the people in the audience should feel badly about Israel participation, because the people in the arena are 11,000 people, but there are 180 million people in the spectators of Eurovision, and of course, not everybody booed in the audience. Some booed, some cheered, and some just felt awkward. So yeah, so I don't know what I would do in the side of EBU, but saying that that's rigging anything for you for Israel, it's kind of a stretch. It's more like the EBU rigged the thing to make sure that their show is running smoothly without issues, without problem. EBU would have removed the person who would have jumped out of the audience and destroy a show as well, right? Why would they do it? It's because they are politically biased? No, that's because they don't want to have a non-smooth show to them. And that's just the way it is. Now, again, he tried to make an argument this is how somehow rigged for Israel. I just think that's just how the way EBU are running their shows, and it would have happened to any other country. So I don't understand exactly the argument here. And again, I am not a fan of what the people have done for Eden Golan last year. I'm probably biased, but I think that booing anyone, I wouldn't have booed a Russian artist for anything. I wouldn't have booed a Palestinian artist as well. I wouldn't have. But people have their own opinion, and that's fine. That's just the way it is. Um, Number seven, but you would also think Europe loved Israel last year because they came up second in the televote. Wow, expect that. That was also dodgy. The State of Israel official social media account, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, posted content asking people around the world to vote for the song up to 20 times to try and win them the public vote. It was a massive campaign with Israeli embassies all over the world showing voting instruction and the government paying for targeted ads. The Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs publicly admitted to upstuffing the vote. The goal was to get people who would otherwise never have even watched Eurovision to vote for Israel in a coordinated campaign. And the charts confirmed that what happened, the Israeli song wasn't charting anywhere, even in countries which gave them 12 points and where people were listening to other Eurovision songs. But afterwards, Israeli media used this manufactured televote to prove that actually everyone supports Israel. The silent majority is in favor of the genocidal blah blah blah. So, um, so that's an interesting argument. I don't understand how is that EBU rigging anything for Eurovision. It basically claims that Israel has done all that they can to get votes, which I completely agree with. Yeah, Israel did whatever they can to get the vote. When I say Israel, it's not specifically the government, it's the people. The people have been feeling left out, marginalized. They got a lot of attacks from a lot of people before the competition, and Ellen Goulart got a lot of attacks before the competition. And yeah, they wanted to get votes to give her the most support that she can. There's nothing biased about it. There's nothing illegal about it. Other countries and other contestants create targeted ads to make people vote for them. You can argue that maybe they do it more or less, but that's a fact. And yeah, saying having people excited and enthusiastic about getting their song to win is not any way or shape or form rigged. Is the fact that Israeli like Eurovision, they like their song, they like the contestant, they felt completely marginalized by a lot of people, and they stated their ground. Now, what he's trying to say, this is some kind of an issue. I said it all the time. In Eurovision, you can't vote against a song. You can only vote for a song. So you may dislike the Israeli song, but you can't vote against him. You can only vote for all 37 other songs. So in that, which is not practical, obviously. So even if it's, as he says, a minority that voted for the Israeli song, because they were so adamant and it was so important to them, then yeah, it shined through in a lot of countries and probably got a higher vote than it would have gotten usually. So in that sense, I agree. But there's nothing to do with being rigged. That's just being very, very, very excited and very, very engaged about getting votes. And Israelis are like that. Yeah, they when they get excited about something, they get all their friends to do to go and above and beyond and do that. And they got excited last year. So I agree with the description of what happened. I just don't understand how it's in any way rigged. I mean, you can Spanish people can do it, and English people can do it, and Italian people can do it. The fact that they don't do it is because they are not that animated and because they are not attacked so viciously by other people. And number eight, if you wonder why none of the contestants were able to make any substantial gestures of solidarity with Palestinians last year, it's because they were being patted down airport style before going to the stage to make sure they wouldn't bring any Palestinian symbols. The contestants were basically locked in the green room to prevent any political props coming in, and all of that just to protect Israel. Um, I don't get it. You're not supposed to bring any political instrument. Again, why would a European competition have any symbols of an entity that is not part of the competition? Why? You can have. Why don't you have flags of Somalia? Why don't you have flags of Syria? They have been massacred there in Latakia. Why not flags of the Yemeni massacre that was being made there by the Houthis? Why Palestine? Why? I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand. You make it seem like there's only one issue in the world, and for some reason this issue needs to be everywhere on stage, even in places where there's no connection to it. So I don't understand the argument. Only to protect Israel. Um, yeah, I guess to protect Israel. I don't know how is it protecting Israel in any case. We're not snowflakes. You don't need to protect Israel in that sense. It just seems odd that people would try to use that platform to virtue signaling, and you made it to yourself an argument that the virtue signaling is a joke. So I don't understand why you do use that as kind of a rigged for Israel thing. So this is the eighth argument. I'm not going to go all over whatever he keeps talking about because that's the eighth argument he may try to make. They're obviously all very biased. Now, am I biased? Yes, but I think I looked at the argument fairly, as much as one can say. Listen, I try to remove all political things from Eurovision. I only react to it because it jumped in my feed, and I do enjoy the drama, so I do speak up when I can. But in terms of actually implementing it into a Eurovision song competition, let's remove it, guys. That's what I'm trying to get to is that we should all have people just focus on the music and appreciate that. And if you appreciate the song of the Israelis or not, that's up to you. You can put them last place in your ranking. You can think whatever you want and express it in the way that makes sense to you. But also be mindful that in some ways you are being harmful for people who have actually done nothing. So again, that's your call. It's your decision on how to look at it. But in terms of enjoying the competition together, I hope that we can move past what happened last year. I feel like we are. That's why this video seems to be kind of weird. Honestly, it feels like this YouTuber trying to bring up an issue that is already passed. Um, and I wish well for all contestants, and hopefully we'll have a great Eurovision without hiccups, without issues, without political drama. I hope we have a lot of drama, but not political drama, because I feel like that's redundant. So yeah, if you have any thoughts, again, this one is gonna be a trouble. This video, I'm sure, and if you can share something that is not harmful too much, then please do. If you appreciate my honest reaction, do leave a like. If you want to continue the journey with me ahead of Eurovision, I promise we don't have a lot of videos like this, where I usually just react to the music itself. Please do consider subscribing, and see you on the next one. Bye, guys.